so today I'm gonna be doing my wheel bearings because they just came in. And so, excuse me if I sound weird, I'm sick. I'm sick as fuck. I'm gonna be going to get the wheel bearing tool, and I'm gonna be doing my wheel bearings, my wheel studs, and I'm gonna put my new rims on. One of them I have to go get repaired, so it's only gonna be 3 of the rims. But this car will look good as fuck with the new rims, so I'm excited for that. I'm gonna pick back up once I go get the tool. I'm renting the tool right now. Oh, another thing, once I do this shit, I can finally fix my fucking steering wheel. Bro, this shit is fucking, my steering wheel. The steering wheel is fucking just like this. If I let go, it's not that bad. I mean, I'm here, okay. But the alignment's not that bad, but the fucking, like, the way the steering wheel is it's just fucked. All right, so another thing too, what happens is a knuckle or the wheel bearing, the hub and bearing that's on the car right now. I'm gonna try to do this one-handed. Oh shit. It makes a lot of road noise. So there it goes. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's like almost mechanical. But yeah, I'm gonna pick back up once I rent the tool. I'm gonna try to get some footage of me pulling out the bearing off of the knuckle that I already have off the car. So I'm gonna I'll pick back up once I get to that point. Last clip, you guys saw my dad cutting off the inner race that was on the hub, and he did gouge the shaft a little bit, and it's not that bad, but there are already marks on there from previous replace, so I'm kind of skeptical it'll work. Not only that, but after I stopped recording, just wanted to hurry up and get everything together, and when I went to go put the hub onto the new bearing, the bearing was already in the knuckle and everything. So when I went to go put the hub into the knuckle, I used a mallet and I hammered it in just a little bit so that it would like be in just a little bit, so I can set up the tool and it not fall all over the place. What ended up happening was it went in like slightly crooked, and the outer race for the bearing was stuck onto the hub, and it actually fell apart. So get what you pay for. I paid $20. I think it was $20 each for the bearings, and I got them from Rock Auto, so it fell apart. My dad got the race off of the hub, and he put that race back into the bearing and put it back together, and it's not looking that hot. So we ended up getting everything together. There was a slight issue. The bearing wasn't spinning, like it wasn't spinning smooth, so he tapped it on the other side, and now it's spinning smooth. But I don't know, he said it'll be fine, but guys, I don't know how this is gonna go. But I'm gonna go get my tires put on my new rims tomorrow in the morning. So after I do that, I'm going to put the knuckle on, and then hopefully it's good. Hopefully obviously I don't have any issues. I'm kind of skeptical because the bearing was replaced before. There's evidence that someone else actually left scratch marks where on the hub, the shaft of the hub. So that being said, guys, I really don't I don't know. I wish I could just buy a new hub and bearing assembly. Can't for this car, or at least this year, make and model, because the ABS ring is on the hub, and the knuckles are, I mean, not the knuckles, but the bearing and hubs are different for whatever reason. There's a Cybertruck, what the fuck? But yeah, guys, I'm gonna pick back up tomorrow when I'm getting my tires put on, and then I'm gonna go back there. We're gonna do the other side. Hopefully it goes smoother than it did on that side. So I'll pick back up tomorrow, guys. One thing I forgot to mention in the previous clip is when I put everything back together, I left the brake dust shield off because these commonly get warped and then they tend to rub. As you can see, it's already been rubbing. So put everything back together with it off. I still gotta seat these new wheel studs in fully with a new lug nut, so I'm just gonna zip these on, and then I'm gonna tighten this ABS ring down, and this knuckle should be done. I don't know if it's gonna work well because obviously because of what happened with the bearing. So hopefully all goes good tomorrow when I get my tires done and throw everything on. Hopefully it does not do anything stupid, no vibrations. Hopefully it's good, but we'll see. I'll pick back up tomorrow. So next day, got my tires done, mounted, getting this knuckle off. I already got it off, so I can do the wheel bearing on this side, and then I'm gonna be putting the other one on while he does this wheel bearing. I'm not gonna touch it because I messed up the last one, so I'm gonna throw the other one on. New knuckles on, and spins freely, as free as it gets with the brakes on there. And then I just zip tied this because I don't have the dust shield. Yeah, wheels ready to go on. And he's doing this one. Throw these new wheels on. Yeah, it's clean. Finally got all lug nuts on. These have been stripped out since I got the car because the guy put the wrong lug nuts on. But it needs just a little spacer. And it's probably gonna sink in more when the car's on the ground. Oh yeah, it's clean. All right, guys. So I wrapped everything up. I threw the knuckle on. Oh shit, everything's hot. I'm heading back home because I forgot to grab I only grabbed two of the two front wheels, so my rear wheel is at home, or at least the one that I have a tire on. And I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna do my lug studs in the rear, just one side, so I can mount the wheel that I have. And tomorrow I'm gonna go fix the wheel. But once I go home and I get those studs replaced and I'm gonna throw the wheel on, I'm gonna show you guys the final look is. Another thing too is there's no sound like there used to be. There used to be like that road noise. Once you got up to speed, it would just make a noise. It's not doing that anymore. I don't know if you guys can, maybe you guys can tell. It's like super quiet now. Before you used to hear the road noise, or not the road noise, but it was the wheel bearing that was making that noise. And now it's like, it's super quiet. All you hear is just the shitty coilovers, and that's it. Alright guys, I'm losing daylight, but just wanted to show. So you gotta take off the caliper, and then you have to take off the brake rotor itself. You're probably gonna have to hammer it a lot to get the brake rotor off. I had to hammer it quite a bit to get it to come off, but once it finally came off, a spring down here, and then there's another thing that your adjustment screw for the spring or the e-brake. So you're gonna take that spring off, and then you're gonna take off the adjustment, like the adjustment thing. Once you do that, you can just hammer a stud out. So I hammered this one out, and you hammer it out, and you can only hammer it here where the spring and the adjustment screw is at, because now there's enough space with that stuff off. So you hammer that out, and then you put in the new one. So with the new one, when you put in the new one, don't try to put the lug nut on to pull it through, because if you do this, as you guys can see,
What ended up happening was the lug nut got stuck on the threads. It basically like stretched the threads to where it got stuck. Not only did it get stuck, but the actual stud, it pushed out. So basically the stud was just floating around, and it had the lug nut on there, and I literally tried everything that I could to get the lug nut off, but it was just spinning around in here. Like, there was nothing I could do. So I ended up having to use an angle grinder and cut it off, and as you guys can see, I did nick it up pretty bad here. It should be fine, but so whenever you're doing that, don't use the lug nut. Put the brake rotor back on and then put the lug nut on. And then I'm doing it very slowly. I don't know if it really matters or not, but I'm doing it like super slowly, making sure that I'm not over tightening it. And this one's basically almost all the way through. These lug nuts are kind of shorter, or these studs are kind of shorter, but it should work. It's only shorter by a couple millimeters, but yeah. So this is what happened. This is what happened when you do it the other way. He ends up getting seized. I tried to hammer it off and it worked. So I gotta go get a new stud, because, or no, I don't have to get a new one right now. I can replace all of these, but when I go to do that side, I have to get a new stud now. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this side up and then put the rims on, and then tomorrow I'm gonna go get the other one fixed and then do that side. All right, so it's the next day. I got my wheel repaired and tire mounted and balanced. Wheel studs on the passenger side. I got them all in. I did mess up on the other one, so I had to go buy another one, an extra one, because I used an extra one on that side. And this is how it looks. They're not fully seated. So this one is fully seated, but these aren't. Now the only reason why I didn't fully seat them is because actually when you do this, you do ruin your lug nut. You don't ruin them, but they start to mushroom, and then your threads start stretching. So I just went until the impact started having trouble pulling it through anymore. And that's mostly because these are Dorman wheel studs, and the serrations on the where it pulls into the actual hub, the serrations are actually like pretty wide, I guess. So they do grip a lot more than normal wheel studs. So these are actually really hard to get in. It was really hard to get in the front ones, and I had the whole knuckles, both of the knuckles off to replace them. So yeah, these are pretty hard to get in, and they're only slightly out. They'll probably get pulled in the more I put the wheel on and off. So they'll sit fully flush, but this is honestly fine. Like I said, it still has a good bite because it is so hard to get these in. Yeah, I don't want to do any more damage. I only have, 5 left, and these are old ones, the wrong ones that the guy put on the car. So yeah, I'm gonna throw everything back together, put the final wheel on, and then finally this car will have all 4 of the same wheels with all new lug nuts and all new lug studs. So here's how it looks. It's pretty clean. That's the shot right there. Like the way the rear end looks on these cars is crazy, especially with this wing. I think the other wing, it does not match this car. It's too like round, but this one is like, it really shows like the boxiness of the quarters. It looks pretty good. It's not bad. Here's the other side. Yeah. Now the front needs to be adjusted. It needs to go low. It needs to go lower to match the rears. The rears are sitting. They're sitting pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty happy with how it sits, and it's only sitting like this because of the ground is uneven. But yeah, I mean, it could use like a fender roll and a spacer. Well, it needs spacers all around, but I don't plan on keeping these rims. Yeah, this one isn't tucking like the other side is, but that's just because of the uneven ground. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Alright guys, so that's gonna do it for this video. This car is probably gonna be sitting for a little bit because I did find out where it was leaking. I might do a video, I might not, I don't know yet, but basically like the water pipe that goes between the thermostat housing and the water pump,
that little pipe there in the middle has 2 O-rings. There's one O-ring for the water pump side and there's one O-ring for the thermostat housing side. Basically, I'm pretty sure it's leaking from the thermostat O-ring, but it could be both, because what I noticed was that the in between the 2 banks, there was basically a puddle of water. And so basically, I'm pretty sure that it like overflowed and it came out on the right side and on the left side, making me think that it was the water pump leaking and also the thermostat housing where the water net goes, because I actually snapped a bolt there, but I just replaced the bolt today. And while my dad was rethreading or retapping for a new bolt, I noticed that puddle was there. So basically, you got to take off the whole intake manifold and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna take it all apart, and then I'm gonna order the gaskets and stuff, because I got to figure out what exactly I need. I kind of want to do this as cheap as possible because I don't have all the money in the world, but it is what it is until I sell a couple things. I want to redo everything, but for now I just want it to be running and no coolant issues. If you guys enjoyed the content, please hit that like button, and then if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, more videos on the 3000 GT, please consider subscribing. This is going to be a blooper for the next video, or not a blooper, but like a, I don't know, in the future, I don't fucking know. It's going to be something, a little sneak peek of the next video, but I'll just show you guys. Yeah, whole thing's apart. It's pretty clean under here, but the intake manifold has some oil residue, which is most likely from the PCV system when it was working, because it is yeah, there's definitely lots of issues. That broke off and that one broke off, and this one's just like fucking loose. But anyways, yeah guys, as you can see, my tensioners are not tensioning. I was playing with this side and I moved the belt slightly and then it jumped the cam. So yeah, I jumped on basically. I gotta do so much maintenance now. I gotta do the belt, I gotta do the intake, I gotta do the water pipe. But yeah, that's it for this sneak peek.